All right, Philip.
Yes, ma'am.
Elon Musk clearly took center stage at Donald Trump's cabinet meeting. What stuck out to you the most today?
I think just the fact that Elon Musk took center stage, right? I mean, this is such an obvious representation of the way in which the normal order has broken down in Washington.
You mean a man born in South Africa who moved here, became the richest person on the planet, and then basically took control of our government as an unelected, unappointed official who only has a marginal amount of security clearance? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's abnormal.
I got it.
Yeah, I think it's a fair encapsulation. But yeah, I mean, look, the cabinet exists and serves at the pleasure of the president. It's it's an advisory body. It's not as though this is a decision-making body, but it is still a representation of the way the president manages the government. And yet, what happened in that room is we saw that it was Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and then he just had it was like one of those pictures in like North Korea where you see Kim Jong-un and you see all the people that are sort of similarly dressed and sitting next to him and just sort of quietly observing. That was the vibe to it. It was just Trump and Musk, and it was just a very real and tangible presentation of the way in which government does not run the way it is supposed to be run. It is not Congress that is assigning how money is spent. It is Elon Musk doing it, and Elon Musk, who supposedly isn't even the head of Doge, according to what the administration is saying. None of it makes any sense, and all of it needs to be remembered as something that's very abnormal.
Similarly dressed and smiling along, I was thinking that, do you remember all the criticism of John Fetterman wearing shorts and sweatshirts in the halls of Congress? And there's Elon Musk in the White House day in and day out in a baseball hat and white T-shirt with a blazer. What does all of this tell you? Besides him being a style star.
Or style, fashion faux pas. And look, it shows me that Trump's basically in love with the world's richest man and has given him carte blanche to, literally almost take control of his government. The one who's responsible for cutting, supposedly trillions out of the budget. The guy who's just going to sort of do what he wants, who can run roughshod over the Oval Office with his son, who can, come to the cabinet meetings and cabinet ministers don't speak up or say a word. And, if you don't like what he's doing, we'll toss him out and no one says anything. I mean, Philip's absolutely right. We've never seen anything like this in our lifetime. Not even in Trump 1 did we see this. So, it's the Trump just loves this guy, loves the fact that he's worth $400 billion, something that even Trump has to be impressed by, and is just letting him do whatever he wants.
People argue fairly that the government is such a massive behemoth and it moves so slowly. It's like the Titanic, but it moves so slowly because of checks and balances, right? The whole Musk movement, as you saw today, is about no checks and balances. You heard him like, listen, we're going to make mistakes and then we're going to correct them. The government is set up so there's safety net after safety net because it's responsible for 330 million people. Have we no longer prioritized that?
This is not a game.
Right.
And they've turned it into that. There have been Democrats, there have been previous administrations that cared about cutting the budget. Remember Clinton Gore, when they were in the White House, there was some famous thing, a hammer cost $10,000 or whatever, and they responded to that because this was the era of total quality management. We've got to be more efficient. Democrats have a history of talking about this. If you believe that the federal government needs to be cut, because it's too bloated, there are ways in which you do this. 150,000 federal workers voluntarily leave their jobs every year. You could have developed this through attrition alone, but that's not what they're doing. This is a show. This is a show. You take a buzzsaw or whatever to a conference. This is a show for them. You put a cap on in a cabinet briefing. This is not a game. There are people's lives there at stake, and they're coming to find that out, right? Which is why they've had to kind of go back on some of these things. But some of it's too late.
Then let's go back to the game, because Elon Musk says that Doge comes with receipts, and that makes a great headline. It's perfect for, a push notification on your phone, but it's not true, because we're reporting that dozens of these cuts saved absolutely no money, and he killed contracts that were designed to boost government efficiency, not to mention what they had on the Doge website. We talked about it last night. The 5 greatest things that they did last week, they had to delete them all because they weren't true. Imagine if I was sitting here saying those 5 things and I got it wrong. I'd be getting a lawsuit from the president.
Yeah, I mean, the most famous example is when they said they'd saved $8 billion and it turned out to be an $8 million contract. I mean, when we're talking about the abnormality, we get sort of bogged down in the aesthetics of it. But yeah, and it's a stream of lies, right? Like what Elon Musk is saying is just lie after lie after lie. And it is very much done. Like, this is a guy who bought Twitter because he wasn't getting enough attention, right? Like, he invested billions of dollars in Twitter so that he could be the star of the show. And now he plays for that show, right? Exactly as Basil was saying. Like, this is what he's doing. Like, you can do this slow, boring, methodical way, going through Congress, assigning committees. None of that's exciting. And none of that is Elon Musk and Donald Trump taking it to Washington, right? So this is what we get. And we get, instead of, we were promised there was going to be this committee and they had the smartest guys in Silicon Valley coming in, we get these 20-year-olds who come in and are coders and no one has any idea what their background is. And all they're doing is they're going to dump all of it in AI. And none of it makes any sense at all because it's all designed to get retweets on X.
Here's the thing. Go.
Well, I mean, I know you would agree with this. We need to have more fiscal responsibility.
100%.
Right?
We need to have updated systems. I would love if the greatest tech giants in this country would take their tech expertise and say, we're here. We want to give back to the country that made us billionaires, and we're going to work with you to teach you to build these systems so you're not paying it out to other organizations because our systems are antiquated, but they're not.
Well, and you can't have $2 trillion budget deficits. You can't have $37 trillion worth of debt. I mean, I remember, I'm still young enough to remember in Trump 1 that he added $7 trillion to the national debt. And he's talking as if he's the great budget balancer of all time. It's theater. Right? It's fiction. We do need to become more fiscally responsible. We are going to be drowning in debt. I mean, Niall Ferguson had a great column the other day in the Wall Street Journal about how empires fall because of too much debt, and we are drowning in too much debt in an era when interest rates are rising, and more of our budget is going to cover debt service than the military, and that's a line that Niall Ferguson pointed out is when you cross that, empires start falling, and we're there.
And
so we've got to do something.
Niall Ferguson is no big critic of conservative politicians.
Exactly
and
right.
He's breathing some truth right there. But can we also talk about that Elon Musk said he's going to be sending out another email this week of federal workers asking them to justify their jobs, explain what they did last week. Why wouldn't the agency, let's just be practical. Why wouldn't the agency heads be doing that, right? If I got a review at work, the person giving me the review would be my boss, right? Not the consultant from the company who's over here who has no idea what I do or how it works. Why is that even a good idea?
It's like he's sharing a house with some interns that are coders, and he's like, give me an update on what you're doing. Like, that's not how this works. Right. It is. I have to think it is incredibly demoralizing for these federal workers who have given their lives in one way, shape, or form to move the country forward. And they have somebody saying, tell me the last 5 things you did today. Not to mention the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene says, by the way, federal workers don't deserve their paychecks. Right. Now, where are we? And where are we? How do they think?
She said that the day after voting to raise our debt in this country, to say we need to spend more money. So it's extraordinary. But beyond it being demoralizing, who's going to take a look and say, were they doing jobs that we needed in this country, right? Let's be clear. Federal workers aren't getting 10% raises a year. You go across the board, and for the most part, they're flat year after year, these public servants. So my question is sort of, on what grounds are they saying this makes sense? Not just demoralizing. It's not efficient. It's not good business.
Right. No, it's invented, right? The short way of saying that is it's stupid. Like, if you go to someone you don't know what they do and you say, tell me the 5 things you did last week, you're not going to get a sense of what their job was, right? Like, I could say what I did, 5 things I did last week. That doesn't tell you what I do, right? It's just a summary of things I did last week.
I also don't know if those are things of value.
100%, yes. And especially if it's not just the 4 of us sitting at the table, it's 2 million people, right? Like, and then you're going to dump it into your AI. Like, it's so stupid. And like, anyone who treats this as serious and a serious endeavor are themselves not being serious. This is not something that is going to get them to the end goal. It is instead a way to flex power and to say, you are not important. You are the little people and we are the important ones. And we're going to decide what's happening. And it is a pretext for firing tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay, I want this audience to know Philip Bump doesn't get fired up. This guy doesn't shout. He doesn't get animated. He's fired up tonight. Bill, here's something, though. Whether or not you agree with these mass firings, Did Doge and Trump just expose how complicated the government is, right? It seems like everything they're trying to do, it ends up in court, right? In business, at the end of the year, even the most profitable investment bank often says, we're cutting off the bottom 5% of the workforce.
10%.
Has this exposed that, man, it is very difficult in the tangled web of government to get stuff done?
Well, it's probably very complicated in the tangled web of government to fire the bottom 10% that's not performing, right? I mean, it's hard enough at Goldman Sachs to do that, and it's probably very hard in the government to do that. And I think there probably are ways to do that, but you don't demean people, as Philip was saying. You don't insult people. I mean, to have the world's richest guy, play act to say, give me the 5 things you did this week, or you're going to be fired. No, you can root out people who need to go because they're not doing their jobs, or they're not good at their jobs, or they're not showing up to work. But to demean them and insult them, I don't think is the way to go about it.
And if I can add to that.
Please.
Of course.
There are myriad agencies and programs that run our day-to-day lives so we don't have to think about things, right? We can go to work, we can go to eat because there is an agency that makes sure that the food that we eat is clean and able to be served. We can take medication because there is an agency, or there was, that can actually help us determine whether or not drugs are actually safe. All of these decisions are being made by people who I've said before are given their lives to be in the service of the public so that we don't have to think about these things on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, because we don't think about safety nets, and we think about them when they no longer exist.
And that's why, quite frankly, you have all of these constituents of Republican leaders up in arms because now they're being affected by these decisions that Musk and others are making because they don't know what they're doing. And to me, and I was saying this before, an old adage that I heard, if those that can't hear must feel. And I don't wish this on anyone. But the fact of the matter is that there are people feeling real challenges right now because they elected someone who then appointed someone without transparency and no accountability to go in and run ripshod over the bureaucracy.